Welcome. I'm your moderator, Robert Terzian, for this series of conversations with Dr. Bogdan Kotnis. The aim is to bring an American Polish perspective to the global turmoil that we've been experiencing as of late. Hi, Bogdan.
Hi, Robert, and welcome to all who are watching.
Bogdan, in discussing Poland's historical background, you mentioned the challenges it faced after World War I and how it reappeared when Poland reappeared in 1919. How do you see these historical events shaping Poland's perspective and its role in Europe today, particularly in relation to Germany and Russia?
Uh, Historical experience has shaped Poland's commitment to sovereignty and security and taught it to be cautious in its relations with Germany and Russia. It's quite a long historical experience we have. Today, Poland seeks to assert itself as a key player in European affairs, uh, advocating for regional stability and countering potential threats through strategic alliances and diplomatic engagement that emphasize the importance of maintaining strong defenses, creating nation to nation alliances, and fostering constructive dialogue to address shared challenges and promote mutual understanding.
You highlighted the importance of military capacity for Poland in dealing with current threats from Russia. What kind of support and collaboration does Poland need from European Union and the United States?
It's tough to say it. I think that the first thing is it would be great if all the big guys noticed Poland as an equal partner. I think that still, Poland is like the afterthought. But Poland recognizes the crucial role of its military capacity to ensure its security and deter potential threats, particularly from Russia, as you said. And by bolstering its military capacity, Poland aims to contribute to the broader security architecture of the region, promoting stability and deterrence against external aggression. So any war, Poland would like to stop it. Moreover, increased collaboration with NATO allies, including the United States, serves to reinforce collective defense efforts and reshape the dynamics in the region, sending, I think, a clear message of solidarity and resolve in the face of emerging security challenges.
I think previously you've talked about uh, trying to have people recognize the contributions that Polish people have made, in energy, the internet, and so forth. Why is that so important?
It's not so much about bragging rights, but basically, if you uh, go to any college in the United States, you're not going to find much of the information. You have to dig it yourself. So I think that recognizing Poland's significant contributions to various fields, including energy, technology, and geopolitics, is going to reshape perceptions of the country and enhance its standing in global affairs. And I think it's much needed now uh, by highlighting Poland's innovative spirit, entrepreneurial drive, and strategic acumen. Americans and the international community can gain a deeper appreciation for Poland's capabilities and mm, and the potential it has as a valuable partner on the world stage. Uh, Moreover, acknowledging Poland's achievements fosters greater collaboration and exchange of expertise, paving the way for mutually beneficial initiatives and partnerships that contribute to global progress and prosperity. Uh, Ultimately, recognizing Poland's accomplishments helps elevate its role as a respected and influential actor in shaping the future of the international relations and addressing shared challenges.
That's interesting. You've also described earlier how a lot of Europe got real benefit from the Marshall Plan. but that didn't come to Poland. And you're advocating, a more aggressive improvement of Poland's economic capability. What impact would it have on the balance of power within the European Union, particularly in relation to Germany, if Poland's economic capabilities were more developed?
I think that it's just a matter of perspective. I think that people forget in general in Europe and countries like Germany. I think that they have a lot to think about. They were devastated. They were an aggressor, and without the Marshall Plan, where would they have been today? So suddenly, I think that the expectations on Poland, without it, Poland that suffered the most. Uh, are unrealistic. And I would like look in that spirit of help and cooperation, more of the help from especially Germany and France. I don't see it, to be quite honest with you. Poland's, the way I look at it, Poland's economic development has been remarkable, but there remains untapped potential for further growth and prosperity. And a more aggressive improvement of Poland's economic capacity involves Poland prioritizing strategic sectors such as innovation, infrastructure, and human capital development through targeted investments, reforms, and partnerships. It requires a ton of money. It has, and it is doing so, as evidenced by its rather phenomenal growth the past 30 years. Poland is doing its best to leverage its strength in technology, manufacturing, and entrepreneurship, positioning itself to become a leading hub for innovation and investment in the region, attracting capital, talent, and expertise from across Europe and beyond. For example, Poland initiated this, I think, amazing program, the creation of the Central Communication Port in the Polish Silicon Valley, a leading tech hub. Poland also wants and needs outside investment and is hoping that its initiatives will attract foreign investors even more, including an influx of funds as U.S. forces realize the need to come to Poland to ensure security.
So actually, you're saying that Poland itself needs to and is investing in itself with these technology hub, for example. But in addition, it's also trying to, by doing so, attract foreign capital that it needs to really blossom out. Is that correct?
Yes, Robert. And I've been visiting Poland quite regularly, and I'm very impressed with what I see, how it's developing. And I just invite everyone to come and check it out. And the people I talk to who've visited lately, they're amazed, they're surprised, they're impressed. But in terms of the balance of power within the European Union,
Mhm.
Strengthening Polish economy enhances Poland's influence and leverage in decision-making process,
Right.
particularly in relation to Germany.
Mhm.
So I think that Poland's economic dynamism and resilience contributes to a more balanced distribution of power within the EU. And additionally, a thriving Polish economy strengthens the EU's overall competitiveness and resilience, reinforcing the bloc's position as a global economic powerhouse. So I think the lead countries of the EU should not be afraid of Poland, but should really help it as much as they can. I see that Poland experiences resistance. And again, I'm going to say particularly from Germany, but also other EU member states in adjusting their view to recognize Poland's economic, political, and military maturity. We've talked about this military development. It's a major commitment of the whole country. And once you start counting the supplies and the military, there is not enough to put at the border at this time. And we need to do something serious. Poland wants to do it, is doing it. And I would expect more help from the EU, to be quite honest with you.
And you're also advocating a stronger Poland in some relationship or support from or alliance with Sweden and Finland as a counterbalance to Germany and the European Union. Can you elaborate on what you mean by that?
For me, the movement of Finland and Sweden and rather quick uh, acceptance in NATO was quite a surprise because I've watched the Scandinavian countries. I lived in Denmark for a little while, and they've been very cautious of what's going on in Europe in general. So I think
Hmm.
it's a great statement from them joining NATO and really getting their having their uh, sleeves rolled up and getting busy. So building a strategic alliance between Poland, Sweden, and Finland offers numerous opportunities for cooperation and mutual development within the European Union.
Hmm.
And this was not really possible before the Ukraine war because Poland has been perceived as a backward country.
Yeah.
Only because of the Russian invasion in Ukraine and Poland's assistance, people notice Poland more and its phenomenal growth and the fact that Finland and Sweden again joined NATO has Poland uh, begun to inch into the mental framework of Europe and the United States as a legitimate power. The time is right now for Poland to capitalize on its new status and negotiate with Sweden and Finland, I believe. And together, these countries represent a formidable force in promoting regional stability, economic prosperity, and democratic values. By leveraging their complementary strength and shared interests, they can advance common goals in areas such as, again, security, innovation, and sustainability, driving collective progress and resilience in the face of emerging challenges. So I think that the big guys in Europe have to wake up and recognize that they've been sleeping behind the wheel for quite a while. Uh, and again, this rebalancing, of course, probably is going to pose certain challenges, including divergent priorities, historical and geographical considerations. But uh, balancing the interests of different member states while fostering unity and cohesion requires careful diplomacy, compromise, and the shared commitment to common objectives. But again, we should not be afraid of difficult tasks ahead of us. Uh, and moreover, navigating the complex dynamics of EU decision-making processes and managing external pressures from other actors requires strategic leadership and coordination among Poland, Sweden, and Finland. Uh, and despite these challenges, the potential benefits of a strong alliance among these countries far outweighs the obstacles, offering a pathway to a more prosperous, secure, and resilient Europe for all.
That's interesting. I think I've heard you say that it's the coincidence of these three major events, Poland's engagement in Ukraine, the Ukraine war in particular, its leadership in responding, and uh, the opportunity that was presented for these Norwegian countries to join. Those three things together, they didn't start, as I understand it, but they enhanced uh, the likelihood that these countries will be able to become much more intimately engaged, and doing that would significantly be a positive impact on the balance of power in Europe. Is that a correct summary?
Yeah, it was a surprise for me. I just look at it from my humble perspective, and but I also did not expect the Soviet Union to collapse. I did not expect that Poland's been growing like it is for so long. It's very impressive. And then the Russia deciding to challenge the whole world. It also was a surprise to me, but that's where we are right now. So
Well,
uh,
you also have mentioned that Poland has committed a large amount of money to its national defense, anywhere from 2 to 4. In fact, I think I heard recently they're going to commit up to 5%. So what's your perspective on why they're committing such a significant amount of money to defense, to their defense?
Well, everybody's talking, for God's sakes, let's just not aggravate Russia. So everybody understands how dangerous a country it is. Well, Poland is next to it, and they've experienced this forever. So, from what I understand, Poles are working on 150 military contracts this year, spanning all aspects of their military readiness. And they're purchasing unprecedented amounts of equipment, munitions, and surveillance systems.
Mm-hmm.
For example, they're forming a new 4th Brigade in the 18th Mechanized Division of the Polish Army. And, these numbers don't mean much, but basically, this unit is going to be equipped like the US military. So when ready, this brigade can welcome our GIs who will just fly over and have all the equipment ready for use. The day they land. Everything is going to be tested, checked, engines warm, and you just keep on going if there is a need for it. So I think that this investment increases Polish readiness tremendously, both militarily and industrially, bolstering Poland's economy.
So how important is it that the Army's V Corps or Fifth Corps, whatever you want to call it, is being moved into Poland?
In July 2022, President Joe Biden announced the permanent presence of U.S. forces in Poland, and Fifth Corps Army, which is headquartered in Fort Knox, Kentucky, had its forward command moved from Germany to Poland, Poznan, Poland. It's huge. I mean, I was, again, not the first time surprised. And American GIs are of paramount importance to Polish security. American soldiers deployed at the border of Poland are like, remember our presence in the Korea demilitarized zone. It signals Russia that we're determined and ready to defend the eastern flank of NATO and especially Poland. And our soldiers have stood feet away from the North Korean military for 60 years now, preventing the threat of the 1950 attack. That was a long time ago that started the Korean War. But, their presence, some people might forget it, but it really maintains a global peace and the balance of power, So in case of a Russian attack today, without the Fifth Corps Army, it would take time for NATO to support the Polish military. And it's not hours or days. It's more weeks, months. And then you need political decisions, so you never know. We've been waiting in Ukraine for 10 years, and then 2 years of the war, and, slowly something is moving. So again, this means that half of Poland could be under Russian control before NATO would arrive. But thank God we have the Fifth Corps Army. I think it's a significant development, and it's more than any political speech. So any threat is less likely because of U.S. troops right now stationed in Poland.
So what about, let's turn to energy. There's a lot of dynamics with energy security. What's Poland doing to ensure its energy independence and resilience?
It's another big one. So Poland recognizes the critical importance of energy security in Europe's evolving geopolitical landscape and is taking strategic steps to ensure its energy independence and resilience. This includes diversifying energy sources, investing in renewable energy infrastructure, and developing domestic resources such as shale gas and nuclear power. It all takes time, one step at a time. Time is of the essence, but I think that Poles are moving. Moreover, Poland is actively engaging in regional energy cooperation initiatives and advocating for a unified approach within the European Union to address energy challenges. And by enhancing its energy diversification and resilience, Poland aims to reduce its reliance on external suppliers and mitigate vulnerabilities to potential disruptions, thereby strengthening its overall national security and contributing to European energy stability. And energy is, is a thing that a lot of countries use as a tool to influence other countries. So, of course, Poland, as a weaker partner, experiences these different efforts.
Well, how does Poland navigate its relationship with the European Union and still maintain its sovereignty and national interests, particularly when you consider the debates over issues like immigration and judicial reforms?
I think that all the countries, the U.S. included, we have a problem with immigration and judicial reforms. We would like a lot of things to be improved. So Poland, as a relatively young country, is going through the process. It's some pains, but while actively participating in EU institutions and initiatives, Poland also asserts its rights to pursue policies that align with its domestic priorities and values. This includes advocating for reforms that enhance efficiency and accountability within the EU, while safeguarding Poland's sovereignty and democratic institutions. It's quite a balancing act. This is a delicate balancing act that demands negotiation and compromise, and I think we're in this painful process.
I'm not sure I know what you mean by enhancing efficiency and accountability.
We discussed a little bit about it in our previous interviews, that EU is an enormous structure, and with its complexity and size comes the challenge of how well the plans devised in its center in Brussels are implemented. Poland sees the necessity to follow the EU regulations, but also the need to improve these regulations if they're not effective and efficient.
What are some examples?
Okay, look, the EU has implemented an ambitious green energy initiative that looked great on paper. However, as its implementation progresses, many countries experience dramatic rises in costs of energy and problems with sufficient supplies. So the idea of switching the EU's economy from gasoline to electric cars comes with coercive regulations and insufficient technology preparedness. And I'm going to tell you, I feel sometimes that people who make these decisions about, let's say, the auto industry have never built a doghouse. So it looks great on paper, but practice is much more complicated. It looks today that the project within the timelines defined by the EU bureaucrats is a utopian fantasy. It is time to look at a number of initial optimistic EU demands and adjust them into realistic, manageable initiatives. The strategic key here is to devise realistic benchmarks based on solid efficiency and accountability foundation for each initiative that accounts for the complexity resulting from various levels of economic development specific to each EU member country. Well, I live here in the United States, so I look at it a little bit from the outside, but for me, the way I look at it, it's pretty obvious. For example, what might work for Germany will degrade the economy of Romania, Spain, and Greece. At the same time, Poland engages in a constructive dialogue with EU partners to address areas of disagreement and find mutually acceptable solutions, recognizing the importance of maintaining solidarity and unity within the European Union. And by striking a delicate balance between integration and sovereignty, Poland seeks to contribute positively to the EU while safeguarding its national interests and values.
Well, you've covered a lot of ground tonight, Bogdan. I want to thank you for your insights and your perspectives. It's been a pleasure discussing these topics with you. And as always, I appreciate the time of you viewers to listen to these interviews and engage it. And thank you, Bogdan, for your expertise.
Robert, thanks a million, and goodbye to all who have watched, and see you soon. Goodbye.